Hey, how are you all doing? My name is Paldi2, and today we're going to find out how much RAM you need to play popular titles such as Fortnite. Many people debate about how much RAM that you should have, and for new systems, I would recommend 8 gigabytes. But what if you have an older system that already has 4? Do you need to upgrade? We're about to find out. Today's testing was done on the Fortnite gaming computer, which I've previously made a video about, and it features a Core 2 Quad Q6600 at 3GHz along with a GTX 750 Ti. The system is a good representation of a worst case scenario since it uses the oldest CPU that I would recommend for playing games, along with DDR2 RAM. Finally, the system was tested with 4GB of RAM at 666 MHz and 8GB at 800 MHz. First up, in Fortnite, at medium settings aside from view distance, which was set to low, 8GB of RAM, the system played the game quite well, scoring an average of 69 FPS, a 1% low of 35, and a 0.1% low of 14. This means that the game hit 35 FPS 1% of the time, and 14 FPS for 0.1% of the time. However, when we take a look at the results for 4GB, it didn't hold up as well, achieving an average of 66 FPS but much lower 1% and 0.1% lows, at 16 and 2 FPS respectively. While the game ran decently most of the time, whenever you would get into a fight, the frame rate would become extremely low and choppy, most likely resulting in a loss. Next up is CSGO. For this I used the community benchmark with a mixture of high and low settings. While the numbers look better across the board for 4GB, in actual matches with other players, the frame rate was much more choppy. Finally, in Overwatch, the game played perfectly well with 8GB of RAM, but had constant stuttering with only 4GB, resulting in 1% low of 5 FPS and a 0.1% low of 2 FPS. To try and remedy this, I tried lowering the settings to low, but it only made the game even worse, achieving a lower average FPS along with a 1% and 0.1% low of 1 FPS. To conclude, I would recommend 8GB of RAM if you have a system as old as mine. However, if you have a newer Core i3 or i5 system, not only do they handle memory much more efficiently, but they also use much faster DDR3 RAM, meaning that your results would probably be better. I'll drop a link in the description to a video by the ToastyBros where they test out an i5 with 4 and 8GB of RAM. If you enjoy this video or learned something interesting, consider leaving a like or even subscribing. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions on the subject. As always, my name is Paldi2, and I'll see you in the next one.